Hello.
Just me and you today, homie.
Oh, me.
Perfect. Get some work done.
How you doing?
Pretty good, man. I'm pretty good. Today was like the first Friday I didn't have any Google sessions, so that was really nice. And
That is really nice.
yeah,
Um, yeah, we do have some stuff that we got to go through, but maybe we do it right after this.
yeah, we'll get cut off if we start now.
Exactly. I just want to make sure we do email the winners because today was the deadline.
Cool. Do you need anything from me?
I mean, unless you want me to do it from my personal email, I thought like it would be better coming out from the BCAI email, like
Let-
just a official, hey?
Let's get you a BCAI email.
Yeah, that would work.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes,
What's
sir.
up, Michelle?
Oh, you can hear me good. I don't know. Played with the sound a bit over the week, just things like that, making sure. Testing.
That's a little
Yeah,
bit better.
That's good. Good.
Yeah. You still get a lot of feedback that comes through when it's not broadcasting your voice.
Well, that's probably because I need to turn the microphone off when I'm not talking.
you do? You have a push to talk system there? That's crazy.
Yeah, but I got a little speaker too. I got this little Bose thing going on here. See,
I see, I
so this
see.
thing pumps out a fair amount of.
Hmm.
Although I don't have it on right now. Right now, it's just coming out of the laptop. It could just be the space. The space is very echoey. Like it sounds great
Hmm.
with the guitar, but I think I could imagine that you guys would be getting feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit though. It's much better than the last one. Yeah. What's up, Alistar?
Not much. How you doing?
Oh, good, oh, good. I saw you at the top of the gondola. No, it was the bridge, right? The suspended bridge on the on your last post.
Yeah. Yeah,
We're seeing all black on your camera. I don't know.
yeah, I'm just looking at it.
All good. You don't.
Tries to force me to join um the app. And I
Right.
don't want to do that.
Whenever that happens to me, and it happens a lot, it was the cover. Oh, actually, I thought maybe I got it wrong. It was a different Alistair that I was talking about. I saw a post about the other Alistair that
Okay.
yeah, he was on the founders convo, and it was like a see the sky meeting,
Well, yep.
and people were meeting like all the way up in the gondolas. I was like, that's crazy. That's a crazy place to meet up.
Yeah.
Sorry. So how's everyone's Friday so far? Oh, there you go. We got a bunch.
Everything's been pretty groovy, man. I've just been hustling mostly.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Barman? What's up, Mac? Nice to see
Hey
you guys.
friends,
Hello,
how are
guys.
ya?
How y'all
How's
doing?
it going?
Hey, good to see you.
Chris, that was really fun at Creative Mornings last week. You're
Had a
making it happen, man.
had
Yeah,
a good.
way to convene.
I'm just sending a couple messages here while the troops rally,
Mm.
and then I'll start with some updates.
Yay.
What's going on, Armin?
Oh, so much better. So much.
Tell me.
Um,
Tell me everything.
uh, First of all, I have to put it in there. Upgrade AI, what you guys do, you and Peter, is absolutely fantastic. Um, I can't wait to share the news with everybody else, how great this session is. And I'm actually trying to convince my wife to sign up for it as well, for procurement, logistics.
Nice, man.
Oh
Uh,
no.
Etc. So we'll talk about it later.
yeah.
I am gonna have a good news to share next week. A bit of a personal update. But more importantly, the project that I'm working on for Monday's presentation, I met with a couple of people, got some feedback. It might be a viable business that can actually go live, and people are signing up for it. So it's thanks to you, KK and Peter, for getting me going. It's been ongoing since 2019, and it's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So
That's awesome.
excited.
Yeah. So Armin's referring to, we are 5/6 of the way done with this AI upgrade course that we're running. We're actually running four cohorts right now. We just completed week 5. So last week is week 6 next week. And then Armin's in one of the classes. And so we've got our capstone project. So that's what he's talking about, the capstone project that he's going to build. And yeah, I mean, I think there is some, there's just so much that can be done in the HR and recruiting space. And so many people are just like, it's an important space right now with everyone has so much uncertainty around jobs and futures and careers and stuff. So I think that, I think it's a good place to plant your flag, Armin.
Thanks for that. And honestly, it's because of you guys. You guys kind of opened the door to a lot of places that, out of fear or out of concern or out of laziness, complacency, whatever it was, I didn't even want to go there.
Yeah.
And during the past 5-6 weeks, you guys just opened the door, and it was a Pandora's box, man. It's fantastic. I'm excited.
Cool. That's cool, man. Yeah, that's the good part about the group learning thing too. You get that positive peer pressure that can be a real ass kicker. Hey, Michelle, I'll just give a little intro, but I'd love for you to report in on your, did you finish off your hackathon project?
Audio. Oh yeah. I mean, you do as much as you can, right? You do as much as you can. So I've got it works all right. Yeah, I got stuff online. I got a subdomain. We're running my little NASA space app there.
Let me give a little intro and then I'll throw it to you. So last weekend on the 4th and 5th, the BCAI Association, in partnership with HR MacMillan and the Canadian Space Agency and NASA and some other people, McDonald Detweiler, participated in a NASA Space Apps Challenge hackathon that was pretty awesome. There was 80 people at the Space Center. They let us stay overnight there, gave us 24-hour access. Was pretty cool. So we got to do like traditional weekend grind kind of hackathon. And Michelle did a space habitat project and finished, and he's going to tell us about it in a second. And I participated with Ubdav and Nancy and a guy called Rohan, who's been to a couple of our meetups and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. We got access to real NASA data. There were some astronauts there. It was pretty cool. So Michelle, you want to just give us a little overview about like what you built or your experience or something like that?
Oh yeah. Well, my experience. I've never experienced a hackathon before. So it was really something, I come from a university family, so it was like stepping back, like a blast into the past there, just the whole attitude, you go, everybody's like really open-minded, everybody's just really fun, and everybody's really, really inspired, we spun off some other teams there, they went and built habitats too, everybody wants to be the leader, so that was kind of a fun thing. I found that to be a really cool experience to be there, and there's a lot to go through, like a lot of the technology's moved around. I still got my app built. I've been honing my edge here on a lot of the AI tools, going back to the loop synth, figuring out how to deploy things better from VS Code. So it's just got me all sharpened up again, and I'm happy with my app. I'm amazed at how much VO3 and Imagen will do now. It's freaking phenomenal. But how would you know if you weren't participating? I got a link someplace now too for like a master list of hackathons. So I've been meaning to put it on the chat and let that.
Michelle, that's a source that I would love to curate for the whole community together over time, is to keep a running list of hackathons as like a BCAI resource or something. So you want me to throw together a Notion page and you and I can kind of like curate that over time? I think that's a very valuable resource.
Oh yeah, we could look at that for sure. I had to clear out some bookmarks and stuff yesterday. I had a bad pop-up, so I wanted to run a virus scan and stuff. So I might have cleared the link, but I can still find it.
Yeah, I love that idea. Are you going to be doing a project for the music hackathon that the Wednesday deadline?
Oh, it's really soon. I'm not sure. I kind of think not, but maybe.
Yeah. Just a quick reminder to everyone, we're in round 4 of our data storytelling hackathon with RivalTech, and I'll drop the link here in a second with the data set that we're working on right now. But deadline is this Wednesday between us. Well, I'll probably extend it till Friday. which will be I think the 17th. But that'll be a hard deadline. But yeah, there's a lot of people competing this time. I'm excited to see what people come up with. $2,500 on the line. You don't need any technical knowledge. Nancy placed last time, and it was her first hackathon ever. And she actually just recorded a couple videos of her talking about the data set, but it was useful and stuff. And anyway,
I found that last time we like half got a thing together in August, and we didn't quite get it submitted, and it was still super valuable. It was just like, oh yeah, look at digging in. It's very fun.
Pull the trigger, Mac, even if it gets like close to there, but not all the way. I really encourage you to, because then we can all include you in the dinner and stuff like that.
I did
It's
the
fun.
same for the last one. I did like a quick little game, but I didn't send it in. I was just like, I
Mm-hmm.
worked with it and I didn't finish it, and I was like, it's all good. I won't have any time for it.
Yeah.
But I should have probably, because it was
Well,
it was I don't know, 75% or something like that. It would have been cool just
yeah.
to see the feedback at least.
Yeah, I had some for Hackathon too, the same way. So do you want us just to commit to a branch if we get something done, Kris?
I think so, man. Why not, right? Like I think it listen, the more the merrier when it comes to this participation and stuff, because it will beget more things like this in terms of money, opportunities, more hackathons and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
we are our own biggest critics. And so I think that you might be
Okay.
surprised. Like, I know your work, Mac, and I'm familiar with yours too, Michelle and Gabe. Like, dude, I've seen what you produced. So it's like, even if the thing is broken, buggy, or doesn't have all the features you want, it's worth taking a crack at it and just being like, this is how far I got.
Yeah, my whole driving force with it is like it's way more about intent than polish. I'm just like, let's just like drive this all the way through. Like we took that hackathon too as British Columbians, how do they feel about whatever? And we took all that and we made some charts and some crosstabs and all that stuff. And then we started doing sentiment analysis on each cohort section and then fed that into VO3 and then made the worst video ever. It was just garbage. But it's such beautiful garbage. And I showed it to people at a talk I gave recently at Hollyhock. And they were like,
See,
can't
that's what
even
I'm talking
believe,
about.
it's just like sparking the
Presentation,
spark, right?
it's presentation keynote worthy and blows minds, and yet you're like, I don't know if I should
I
submit.
don't have time. So busy doing boring stuff. Yeah.
Tanya, how are you doing? What's going on with you?
I'm recovered from being away, which was lovely. I
Yeah.
got caught in the freak storm in Spain. I don't know if anyone heard about that, but it was wild.
Wow,
But
it
yeah,
sounded
I'm
intense.
yeah, it was crazy. I was in Ibiza and it completely flooded
Oh
the
my God, you
entire
were right in
infrastructure.
the center.
Yeah, right in the heart of it all.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm just checking in because Kris and I have had very early conversations about a couple things around volunteerism, and I'm of course looking to get more engaged in providing some support that way. I'm really interested in talking with everyone about the idea of creating some type of youth opportunity for volunteering as well, particularly for grade 11 and grade 12 students. I think there's a huge amount of value there. My background, for those of you who don't know me, I am a nonprofit, mostly in private, but I've worked in public also. I do advising primarily in legacy and nonprofit management, corporate social responsibility. So my area is all around, yeah. Where I bring value is primarily in that space. I'm also starting a software company next year, a startup that will be looking at creating new software opportunities and services for family offices in
Cool.
North America. So that's my other little pet project that I'm working on. But yeah, I'm primarily here because I love this community. I'm excited to be a new person involved, and I'm a bit of a social convener. And we had a little fun Mac social at my studio. I'm also a visual artist in Parker Studios, and want to also create more opportunities for our community to actually have FaceTime.
Yeah, Tanya has been a big member, participating member of the Mind, AI, and Consciousness group, which you
Yeah.
all heard about, and then she's got a really sweet studio along the train tracks in East Van at Parker Street Studios, which is kind of a famous Vancouver artist kind of space, and she's got a really sweet space in there, and hosted probably like 20 or 30 of us one night out there. It was a lot of fun, and I know you want to do some quarterly socials, and
Yeah.
I'm totally into that. And I want you to know you kind of have carte blanche. I mean, we need to check in along the way, like before we roll things out. But if you wanted to even like, I don't know your work process, but dictate into your phone your ideas for the 11s and 12s youth program and toss it over to me. I'll throw a notion together with my ideas, and all of a sudden we're collaborating or something like
Yeah,
that.
no, I wanted to get some direction for all of you on how to move forward with that. I'm quite comfortable putting together
I
some
think Zaro is someone I
ideas.
think I've mentioned
Yeah,
a couple times connected with Zaro, and that's just because he's kind of taken a bit of a I don't know, executive responsibility level over just community with the biggest C, of which kind of volunteers and youth. So he just got his finger on the pulse. He's talking to people, he's moderating Discord, he's building a community survey and some community guidelines. So sometimes I can be a roadblock on shit because I keep my stuff a little bit too close to the line in terms of busy. And so Zara would be a great person to just like brainstorm with sometimes or get a brain dump from. He also interviewed like, how many members of our community did you interview?
I think about 12 to 20. Yeah. It's
Including like
just the
a
people.
lot of the special interest group leaders, some board
Exactly.
members, key community players. So he's got a great finger on the pulse, knowledge base kind of thing of what's going on in our world. If that's helpful, you know, it
yeah,
can at least ground everything that we do. So
yeah. I mean, if you want to connect, we can definitely do that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Let's do it.
I'm all about it. I worked as a program manager for 3.5 years in volunteering. So I've managed volunteer sites, 140 volunteers, like full circle stuff. So I think there's something there of value that I can offer. And, you know, talking with my son, who's now in grade 10, about like what inspires you to be involved in community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
AI is a
good
great
one.
big space where these young people want to do something, but they don't have anything to put their teeth into. And I think that there's a really great, even if it's like a couple of schools that we could engage with and see and create an opportunity and keep it small, keep it tight, but then like engage a couple of schools, get a group of 5, 10 youths that are excited about this and see where it could go. Because, you know, bringing in that type of mind and enthusiasm into the group is
hugely
kind of game
valuable.
changing for us.
Yeah, it's been hugely valuable. We've got like 5, I would say, kind of active youths, like Praj, who's 17, and Matthew, who's 19, and Itamar, and then Itamar and Matthew's sisters, Noah and Eliza. So that's like 5, two girls, 2 boys, 3 boys, and they're pretty regular. And then like Finn's kids come, but they're about 20. That's
Yeah.
Ollie and whatever. But there's a few that have been coming around and participating a bit and stuff. I'd love to formalize that a little bit. And like we got free tickets for those people specifically because they don't drink, you know, so it makes our main even, you know, I can just comp them tickets or whatever. They're always helpful, energetic. And then like, so last night, guys, we had our second AI and education meetup in partnership with Antonia from Ethos Labs, and it was incredible. She sent me the sweetest messages today. We had like 45 people there. We had great discussion, and the energy was really awesome. And Matthew and Itamar came and spoke up. So it was like we had everything from like cheating using AI in my high school classes to like 5 professors there having like real debates about the role they want AI to play in their lives and classrooms and education. It was solid. So, and the group decided that they wanted to stop using the buzzword human-centered AI in education and define the characteristics of what that looked like so that we could point to it when we saw it. So we're on like this group research project now trying to define the characteristics of human-centered AI in education based on our dialogues last night and stuff. So yeah, it's like for group week 2 or sort of meetup number 2, it was a lot of coalescing going on, a lot of gelling going on, you know, and stuff. And so that was pretty sweet, and brought in some outsiders. This lady from a company called Tutor Doctor, who I had only met her one time, like offered to sponsor I paid for food like $250 last night, and I was like, hey, let's distribute the load amongst the community. Someone wants to order food next time, let me know. A lady came up, she's like, you count me in for $200, $50 sponsorship and stuff. So
yeah, that's fantastic. I really wanted to be there last night. I couldn't, unfortunately, another engagement, but I will be there for the next one. I think it's really important time. Also just talking with young people about like, how do they how do they curate their own education right now?
Yeah.
Like my son's looking at me going like, what am I going to do? Am I going to just do university, or am I going to start focusing on like soft skills and critical thinking skills? Should I do a liberal arts degree instead of a comp sci degree? Like there's like all sorts of wild questions coming up around like
You're
what
at the
is
heart
going
of
to,
it.
yeah, I am. I'm in the heart of it. So it's an important, and this is our next generation, right? They're the guinea pigs really in terms of.
We had a
Tanya,
really good group.
Tanya, oh, sorry, Kepa, didn't mean to interrupt.
Alistair, go for it.
Yeah, I got some thoughts there. So I got a 20-something-year-old third-year neurobiologist that keeps asking me what she should be doing, and a couple of other older kids that work in a number of different spaces. But just a bit of background for those. Fortunately, I haven't been able to attend the events because I split my time between the southern interior of BC, Vancouver, and Berlin. And most recently, I've been in our European offices, so I haven't had a chance to participate in some of the sessions that you've been hosting in Vancouver, and somewhat disappointed. I've been trying to encourage some of my colleagues who are based in the offices in Vancouver to attend some of the sessions. Again, young. Our most recent hire is an MBA graduate in comp sci and mathematics from University of Queens, who we just moved to Vancouver. And I've been trying to encourage him to come out and join the community. But I think there's 2 points that I made. One is in post-second academic advisory, and I've heard some things come from academic advisors in very reputable post-secondary institutions in Western Canada that as far as I'm concerned, it's flatly poor advice being given to students in terms of the relationship between emergent technology and the career paths that they're exploring. And I think there's a real disconnect between academic advisory services and the reality in terms of the changing nature of the work that we're going to see today and in the next coming years. And I think this is an area where I think there needs to be a real concerted effort to make a change. I mean, we've got youth audiences. You talk about, I spent over a decade in public education in BC from a technological viewpoint, working with the Ministry of Education and public school districts. And so I worked in that space, trying to apply new technology, emerging technology to new pedagogical models for delivering content to students. And quite frankly, between the mid-2000s and the pandemic, I was horrified to see what we're doing during the pandemic in terms of trying to deliver content, engaging content to students, because in the 2020s, we had a technical challenge in delivering content. In 2020, 2021, that technical challenge had been solved, but the approach to developing pedagogy that took advantage of those technologies hadn't moved one iota. It was very disappointing to see what had happened, and I see that through the entire public education space is a lack of awareness, a lack of keeping in lockstep with the rate of change that emerging technology is bringing into the public education space, and therefore into the understanding of students at elementary school level, at high school level, and at undergraduate level, in terms of how they're going to need to understand and work with and consume that technology in a relevant way, and still continue to do interesting, valuable, practical things with the fields that they want to go into. My youngest daughter's is doing neurobiology, but my oldest daughter is a journalist who went into communications and now into marketing, and they're embracing this technology, but it's not because of good advice; it's in spite of good advice, and I think that's an area that really I think can be hugely impactful if we get it right. In the general sense, but also specifically if we're trying to incubate communities. Sorry, that's my dog barking in the background for those who can hear. Incubate communities in regions that have an advantage over those in other regions. It's an area that we really should be focusing on.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine if we had the opportunity to do a keynote, as an organization and all the local high schools talking about
Yeah.
future.
I did this a decade and a half ago when it was information security risk management. So I spent part of my career in the cybersecurity space, in a different role now in the technology space. But
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 35 years, and the one thing that's been an absolute constant in my life is change. Right, over those last 35 years in tech space, not just in terms of change in terms of available technology, but changes in the industries that I've worked in and the utilization of technology within those industries. It's been a constant change, and that's a message that needs to be brought to students. We talked about it from a cybersecurity maturity perspective. We talked about don't do these things. It's from an information security risk management message to students. Don't post this online. Don't. We tended to pivot and say, do these things, right?
Yeah.
It's always easier for people to accept yes, you can go ahead and do this message than thou shalt not this, and this. And I think that's an approach we should be taking here in terms of we want to enable people to be able to take advantage of the things that are being presented to them in a beneficial way, in a positive way. Somebody talked about human-centric use of technology. Yeah, I think that's a terrible way to try and express it. And I have general problems with the use of the term AI, quite frankly. It's just a form of intelligence. It's not artificial. It's a real form of intelligence. It just looks and feels in a very different way. How are we living with that, right? And I think these are key concepts that we should be trying to push out there into that early academic space, early academic experience. We're not doing a very good job of it at the moment.
Yeah, it's really concerning. Anyway, I'd love to connect with anyone who's interested in that, because I think there's also opportunity there for something to be born that could be really meaningful, impactful in terms of like making social impact. I'm all about social impact. That's my whole MO. And that happens in multiple levels in our community, and youth are incredibly powerful that way in terms of how they can impact and change our neighborhoods and communities.
If you've ever had to manage large enterprise change, if you've ever been involved in change management, it's much easier to change people who are not
they're malleable.
Encumbered by experience too,
Yeah.
right? I haven't established a set of rules that I'm trying to live by. Those rules are still forming, and much easier to change people's attitudes if they haven't been hard and fast rules that they've had to adhere to from an extended period of time.
Yeah. And there's new realities like wearables and the disappearance of the keyboard within like probably the next 5 to 8 years. I mean, these are like fundamental shifts.
We're working internally on projects around moving from classic UI UX to conversational AI experiences with data. If anybody here has worked with some of the big technology partners like SAP and worked in the industrial automation control system space with partners like ABB and Emerson Controls and so on, we've been building this ecosystem of UI UX that has shown incremental evolution. We're seeing sort of evolution. We're seeing a revolution in that, moving away from having to train people to use a UI to conversing with the systems to accomplish outcomes. Right?
There's the question for me: why the hell aren't we teaching our kids how to do that?
Well, we don't have to, because our kids are expecting that. I mean, I'm working with them.
Well, and it turns out too that we are teaching them. If you go to a private school, they're starting your AI education in 3rd grade, and if you go to a public school, they're saying you're not allowed to touch it until you're 13 plus or whatever. And so it's not being very evenly distributed as well.
But the education in terms of AI use is happening out. I mean, walk into your living room, right? Go to a sports arena. Get online and look at what they're doing and talking about in their Discord channels around gaming, and how they're hacking that experience by applying emergent technology to it. They're educating themselves faster than we're creating essentially a playbook for them to operate within. So and I see that when I'm hiring 18-somethings, 20-somethings into our organization, they're coming in with expectations that these capabilities already exist in industry, and we're behind that space.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. Well, Tanya, I know you were going to come last night and you've just been juggling a bit, but Alistair, you got to come next time to this education one. It's free. It's at Ethos Labs on Main Street. And there's just a lot of great minds there as well. Guy who's written books on the topics that you just mentioned, kind of thing. You know, from Athabasca University was one of the guys that came last night, and it was just a really enriching conversation. And would love to have you be a part of that. But actually, one thing for this call I would say is, you know, I'm trying to get it so that like the meetups, you know, like say the education one or even the Vancouver one, are really just the icing on the cake, and that a lot of the kind of collaboration and exchange is taking place other places as well. And so like I just dropped on this chat the link to the education AI subgroup on our Notion. And you'll see like the 2 meeting recaps there, including plans. You'll see named names of all the different folks who showed up and like kind of what we're up to and where we're going. And those pages are editable. People are welcome to comment on them, put their own name on them, share their ideas there. I mean, in general, you know, it's all about who kind of shows up and participates and stuff. And so, yeah, use those resources however you want. Use them to find other people or talk about your own interests and rally folks around there and stuff. It's really just meant to be a bit of a watering hole or whatever you make of it in some ways too. Hello, Carmen San Diego. Yeah, he doesn't know the reference.
She's too young.
Remember, she
So
has
funny, though.
very. she wears red.
She wears red. There you go. She does know the
never know where
reference.
she might pop up from, and she's sometimes in disguise, and you're wearing new glasses.
I mean, it's the red for us.
Yeah. What's up, Yemi?
Hello,
Yemi's in
everyone.
London preparing for her art show and keynote.
Oh, nice.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Zara. My goodness, it's a lot going on, and it's quite interesting when you have to wear many hats as a founder and the CEO. It's
May I share a very generalized perspective on what you and I were exchanging messages about yesterday? I won't name any names or anything.
Oh, the message that I shared with you. Oh, awesome. So
May
yes,
I share something about that? Is that okay?
Yes, definitely. Okay.
So Yemi's been doing a lot of pitching and developing her ideas in her company, and she pitched to somebody this week who's in our network, and they said, blank check, tell me what you need, what you want, where you're going, let's do this. And then Yemi's like, well, what do I do now? And I was like, well, you really need to figure out what you want, where you're going, what you need, and what you're willing to give away to get there. If this looks like traditional investment capital or something, which it probably does. So anyway, I just wanted to say that, you know, Yemi, who's this creative visionary manifester of all these cool ideas, is now being put in a position where they need to shore up the traditional business perspective on what's my company worth, how much money do I need, what am I going to do with it, and then what does the person get in exchange for that. So I've taken her this far, but it's, you know, takes a community to raise a company. And so if anyone ever has any perspectives on these things or wants to connect with Yemi, knowing that this is where she's at, you know, Yemi, I think it would be great for you to say to someone like me or Tanya or Zara or someone, Armin, my company's worth $1 million and I need $100,000 to get to wherever. And for that, I'm willing to give away 10% of the company. So if you give me $100 grand, I give you 10%. We're partners. And, you know, just whatever that story is, I want you to start saying it with your mouth, because it will be easier and easier when the time comes to do it for real, if you kind of know that way of talking about the thing or whatever. So when you're ready, you can try that on me one time. I'll be a critical mind, and you can, you know, just, we can role play the whole thing. We can set a Zoom for 15. You can call me up. You can pitch me. I can object.
Style.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. Love it. And by the way, I am very open to honest feedback. Like I do not shy away from like, that's a shitty idea, change it. Like I am not that committed.
Well, that's what you need right now, because this period of time can be a huge waste of time where a lot of people play theater. They pretend they're raising money. They pretend they will have a startup, or they kind of dance in the gray areas, right? But either like go hang out in your creative, artistic, visionary research space, or go be a CEO of a new company, but figure out which one you want to be. You know, not to say you can't be both, but it probably takes some directed focus to.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And then having to actually direct three companies on three different continents, make sure that they are merged together, building partnerships, linking and growing net worth, ensuring that, because again, like Tanya, my business is all about impact, so so mostly impact, but definitely profit. But then because we're talking about the emerging technologies, it's always that fine balance. And as a creative who is a founder, it's always that fine balance of how do I put on my CEO cap, to have these conversations. And then, of course, I'm always open to listening to people that have done it. I was in Scotland. I had to learn how to do business in Scotland. I am new to Canada. I'm needing to learn how to do business in Canada. I do business in Nigeria. I understand Nigeria because that's my home. So it's all the different nuances, and you don't want to wrong step, or it's an opportunity. It's a great opportunity. It's an amazing business opportunity. I mean, we're all talking about AI, especially when it comes to the education space. I also have kids as well that are also not wanting to use the tech because school says don't use the tech. But I remember being in the Web Summit in Lisbon in 2023, and there were a lot of educators from Asia who had already started to adopt these technologies in their classrooms, creating individualized plans using artificial intelligence. And that was back in 2023. So it's always a case of what are we looking at, who is talking, who is doing what. And I'm always open to, listening, learning, and growing. So yes, that's about the business. I am open to anything. I do want to get that feedback and hear what people think, especially people that have done it already. I prefer to hear those that have done it already. I like to learn from experience and hard truths because patience it's been good. It's been 7 years of hard research in this space and building this, and so I know my space basically. I know what's coming. I knew what was coming back then, and it's still happening, emerging slowly, but it's happening. And I'm excited to be here. Let me just say a quick shout out to the Van AI community because I have met some really incredible people. Somebody generously just we swap seat, we swap stuff, but I just got myself a new Meta 3 headset. I will be showcasing this as thanks to Roz, our very faithful Roz. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, so I can't wait to get to London with that. Like I've already told them, like, guys, you are not ready for what I'm bringing. This is an event filled with 60-year-olds. These are old timers. They have no idea what this is, and they can't wait to see an immersive fashion exhibition. So
I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but that cool guy from Arcturix, Dan, who's like one of the founders, he brought to the last AI meetup the Black Magic 16K spatial video camera that's like,
yes,
there's only like 20 of them, I think, in the whole world or something. I don't know. Don't fact check me on that, but there's not very many. And even people who want them, like Apple and stuff, can't get them. And somehow he like pulled one out of the trunk. and I was like, yo, Dan, will you go on stage for like 2 minutes and just show that thing off? And I never seen a person like crawl back into their turtle shell more quickly. He did not want to be identified as having this state-of-the-art future fantastic thing. Like I actually almost felt like I offended him by even asking him somehow. But yeah, it is incredible. So that's cool that Roz is loaning you gear, and Dan's been bringing some black market off the books gear as well to our meetups that we are lucky to be in the company of. So
thank you, guys.
We got our Fat Cat Pharmaceutical CEO Simon here joining us late. What's up?
Hi there, guys.
We're just shooting the shit. We talked about the education meetup we had last night, which was just epic. Alistair talked for a few minutes. We got to know him a little bit. This is his first time kind of popping onto one of these. And Michelle talked a little bit about the NASA hackathon we all participated in last weekend. And Tanya's talking a little bit about what she wants to get up to around volunteerism and some social stuff. And we're just kind of hanging out and chatting. What's up with you, man?
Oh, heading to London next week, and just good old fat cat stuff. Really trying to do some deals.
How's that going, man?
Do some deals. It's really, really exciting. It's really good.
Will you catch me with the broad arc? So I remember you were like an investor in this company or ran a fund that.
I was an investor in the company. I was chief executive in the company. I
Right,
recruited someone else.
Stop there
I
for a
recruited
second.
someone else.
Yeah, stop there. So that's where you were next. So all of a sudden you needed to become the CEO, and you became the CEO, and your life changed. Instead of being around here hanging out, you started being London, Vancouver.
So I did.
And then what happened?
Well, now we reckon that 30% of the new drugs that are coming through the system in biotech now, as of this year, will be AI derived. As of 2022, it was 0. 2022,
that's what I'm wondering, man. Can we get a little cone of silence or a cone of like secrecy for a minute? Because I'm gonna ask. You don't have to answer my question, Simon, but maybe
go on.
It's just I've never declared this before, but let's call it like Chatham House rules or Vegas rules. Like we don't talk about like what happens on here, but Handel Kim from Verational AI just a big contract that they announced with Merck, and I looked at it, and the contract reads that like it's incentive-based drug discovery, where if they find stuff and if that stuff passes trials and starts bringing in revenue, then the contract is valued in those cases at up to $397 million US. So I was just wondering, do you have inside baseball on that type of contract, on that contract?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally standard in our space. Normally you'll get up to 10 to 15% as an upfront.
So that's let's pause there. So we can maybe assume, if we're just doing back of the napkin math, that deal was maybe worth 40 million bucks on the front end.
Possibly. I haven't spoken to Handel yet, but very often it's 10 to 15% upfront. And the whole of the way the drug development industry works, you have these regulatory hurdles to go through, clinical trials, and so each one of those is a milestone. And then, so those are the milestones you tie to the payments.
So here's my other question, and I'm more curious than skeptical, even though this sounds, I'm going to phrase it as a challenge, right? Is like everyone's so hungry to show that AI isn't just ChatGPT, that it can also do X, Y, or Z, including discovering drugs, that if it had ever discovered a useful thing, wouldn't it be a household name? Wouldn't we all know about it? Where is the freaking action, bro? Like, where's the drugs being discovered?
In 10 years' time, we'll tell you, and you'll be too late to find out by then. It takes so bleeding long to do this.
You're telling me they're all just in trials?
They're all coming through now. About a third of the new stuff coming through from this year is there.
Isn't the pipeline like some research gets published, it gets peer reviewed, and then trials begin, and then more publishing research? A news story from like Merck has discovered 17 new novel compounds with AI, and we are beginning testing on them now. Like, where's those stories?
I can send you some of those, but this is where we're at now. As of this year, for the first time, we're actually getting that, and it's already up at just under 30% of the ones that are coming through have some AI-derived content. But don't forget, the AI's got two bits. It's got the de novo research about discovering in the first place, which is still very, very rare. It's got the automation of the downstream events, which is very, very common, whether it's chemistry, folding, information from the literature, large language models. It's the first bit that's really going to transform it. It's the de novo bit. And that's where we're at. That's still the frontier of where we're at.
That's amazing, man. It's really incredible. Yeah. I got one more question for you. And again, it's like a predict the future question. Is 90% of the novel discoveries going to come out of a lab like DeepMind, or is it going to be evenly distributed across all these different people with different approaches, all fucking around in different ways? Or is somebody going to unlock the thing and then they're going to discover every new drug or something like that?
We are all doing that. We've just literally set our system up. So instead of doing one disease at a time, we just pointed at all diseases. So it is everybody, and there is a land grab rush going on now for IP
Oh
that
man, it
relates to this.
freaks me out because
It should freak you out.
The stakes are so fucking high that if you don't do it, I'm gonna do it. So I'm just gonna release this thing into the world because one guy is gonna discover all the drugs of the future.
Yeah, we're going to discover more drugs in the next 5 years than have ever been discovered.
And I just posted an article in the Mac group about viruses and bacteria and how they're using the, viral frameworks to address bacterial infections, which is just phenomenal.
Yeah, we've also got back. I've been working on a project today with bacteria to alter a plant in a way that it produces the drugs we want it to produce using tobacco plants.
I have heard about this one too. Hey, I don't think I hurt your feelings or anything, but I just want to say that when I jokingly call you a fat cat, what I mean to say is that you have a very unique and valuable perspective into a world that we don't all have a lot of times, or we get.
I used to be Simon the Suit, and I've grown up to be Simon the Fat Cat. I am a fat kitten. I'm a fat kitten right now. I'm aspiring.
Simon the jet setting fat cat, I think, is what
it is so exciting, Kris, at the moment. I cannot tell you how much I'm enjoying what I'm doing. It is scary as hell, but it is absolutely fantastic.
Hey, Zara, what's going on in your world, bro?
I'm just blowing up here. Sometimes I just like to listen, man. Just this is the type of thing that I'm not expecting on a Friday lunch hour, and it's mind blowing. I'm so happy.
This is my intuition getting a pat on its back is like, this is why we're fucking doing this at all, is because
100%
connecting us amongst us, like grow the value of everything that all of us are doing all the time, so
it's crazy. I did like, again, on the BCAI type of rewarding surprises. Yesterday I met up with Joseph McKay, and we talked for like 3 hours. We met at a cafe to talk about a project, one of my community projects. I think I talked about this with you, the community of communities. And like he just kept challenging it, and we were doing this exercise of back and forth. Yemi, pretty much what you're looking for. I was doing yesterday with another member of our BCAI group, another member actually as well, and it was extremely valuable. So like a lot of the things that I was thinking, like he was asking, well, then how does it work? And I was like going through this exercise of defending it and explaining it on a more casual and general perspective so that anyone could understand. And then he came in and challenged, and then he brought his own ideas. And by the end of those 3 hours talking, we were like, wow, we have uncovered a whole new whole new ground within this one project that we need to further investigate later on. So yeah, it's exciting as well. Trying to do exactly what you were doing, trying to put some products in the table, develop some projects. Yeah, so it's all cool stuff. Really excited. And again, hearing these types of things is so freaking, it's not only fascinating, but it's also like it instigates something else in me. It's inspiring. So I appreciate you coming in, Simon, with your fat cat energy and sharing all that. It's amazing. So thank you very much.
All right, well, I got something then I'll share. If Zara's gonna have cat got his tongue moments. Will you guys pop into the chat for a second, click on the news link there? So I did a thing. I've been working for a week since the AI task force was announced on like a BC AI position paper. I feel like when these national things happen with us being an association, it kind of behooves us, and that means me, to put forth a voice on these things, And so I have done a couple on-camera interviews this week with a BC IT student, and also Philippe Pasque did one as well with him, just talking about a counter narrative and to kind of the main Ottawa, let's build AI for defense, killer robots as fast as we can, and let's do it in these safe ways with TELUS and Bell and these big Quebec-based military contractors and stuff. So anyway, you'll find a professionally worded, carefully line walked response from me, but from the members, from the association. You know, I'm not like the census. Y'all are allowed to be members and still disagree with what I say and stuff, and that's valid. But I also do share these. I try to share big things like this, like 48 hours or so before they go live, like on our members group chat. And I did get some feedback from people, and I incorporated that feedback on it and stuff. And so, anyway, I just want to call your attention to it. If it tickles you, moves you, if the spirit of what's in there is kind of why you're a part of all this, then feel free to share it places and stuff. You know, that is kind of like, I feel like it really kind of benefits us all to do that or whatever. And kind of in so much as I have to be responsible to write these things in response to what happens in the world, I look to you to help amplify those things as well. And that's like the lowest pressure ask for help that I can give. But just letting you know. And that is our website. It's been getting better and better all the time. David from SparkJoy helps a lot. Udov helps a lot. The news section looks sweet now with all the little thumbnails, and the event section. Click on the event section. We've got a lot of events, you know, happening these days. I'm about to message Anthonia, Alistair, and Tanya about next month's date for the education one. So I say like within about 24 hours or so, we'll get that date out there into the world. But I love seeing those 6 or 7 logos there together on the events page. We've got a good thriving little, you know, drum beat happening. Surrey's happened 7 months in a row now. They're well on their way and stuff. And yeah, I'm a couple months ahead with the artwork and the Luma invites. So there's 2 up instead of 1, and eventually I'll get even farther out. You know, we have our 2026 calendar in place. I just gotta find the cycles to kind of like build out the art and different things. And that's one of the creative things I love doing. It's also a chance for me to experiment with the latest, greatest tools that are out when it comes to, you know, video, photo generation and brand type stuff. You know, I pretty much, that's one of the reasons I remix the art every single month, not just because it's fun and cool and I like it, but it's a great chance for me to just like once a month, I get to use the state of the art and refine my techniques and processes or whatever and stuff. So anyway, have a lot of fun.
Hey. Can I ask a question, Kris? Is there anything coming, and I know Mac is working on something, so it might go across the whole, but in terms of like a community platform, I know that Discord's kind of been that community space, but is there any other plans for anything for the association in terms of community space connected to the website? Like my first thought is something, I don't know if you're familiar with this software called Hivebright, where they have, it's like a sort of exclusive LinkedIn in terms of like creating spaces for members, or is that just happening within Notion, or what's the plan for that?
Yeah. This conversation always scares me a little bit just in general, because a lot of people have like a lot of vested energy and different opinions on it and stuff. And so but I mean, it doesn't need to be that way. I'm just telling you something that like the tools talk again or whatever. So David Monty from SparkJoy built that website, and he is awesome. And he's involved with Mac, as you know, and he's building that cool, I call it D'Artagnan, but whatever, the chat body thing that also has permalinks. And that thing happens inside that BC AI website in a way that's like what you're talking about, but it's not one of those off-the-shelf tools for those types of things. So David runs these networks of community sites for his business, for like unions and membership orgs. And we're advanced, cutting edge. And so we've pushed his whole team and staff into the space that is already their space, but with this like AI kind of like world and frame and stuff. And so he's building new tools for us that he then wants to deploy into his business and sell to the world. So, and he's done a bunch of shit for us for free. So in some ways we have like and he's a buddy and a member, like he's member number 3 of the whole thing or whatever and stuff. And so, we're going to keep going with David. Also, David's baby is Mac. So Mac's going to get the choicest, firstest, freshest of all these tools. They're going to be So we're going to have like the current state of affairs. WhatsApp's for like real-time chit chat bullshit. If we're saying smart stuff, it'd be really great for now if it happened like in Discord, because it's threaded with permalinks or whatever, and we can share things back and forth. But that transition can take however long that transition takes. Sometime Monty's going to deploy the new functionality of the website, And they have this lofty goal that I'm sort of skeptical of, but I just have to believe it's going to happen, that there's going to be parity between Discord and WhatsApp on the website somehow.
Oh.
On the Mac section of the website, interesting things that are happening in WhatsApp, interesting things that are happening in Discord are going to be brought together in David's tool somehow, I hear. So that's kind of where that is. And then Notion is like the knowledge base of the org. It's where anyone can go create pages. It's more like a wiki or a thing like that. So that's like another thing. And it's not to be confusing. It just turns out it takes a variety of types of infrastructure to support a multi-headed Hydra.
Yes. Yeah, the only reason I ask is because what's happened in my experience thus far, because I'm obviously coming in from a different background, is like the people I am connecting with, I'm ending up connecting with on LinkedIn. And the part that I don't like about that is it's externalizing the communications outside of the community. And so, like in the work that I do, we look at like white label platforms like Highbright that allow us to like have a community, and then within the community you can create smaller sub communities, and they all connect within that exclusive kind of contained IP environment. So I will connect with David because David asked me if I do some beta with him.
Though, because it also gets the heart of community, and that is like, I love, and it's natural that things will spill over into the big wide world. And I don't want to try to own that or contain it. I mean, I also hear what you're saying, which is like, it would be cool for the benefit of the community and enrichment if some of that stuff happened there. But even if we had that, some other stuff will continue to spill over into IG, LinkedIn. And that's a beautiful thing, because that's us. That's impact. That's us getting out of our house and into the world, isn't it? Maybe one way of looking.
Yeah. Fair.
I don't know. Let's just keep it going, because the infrastructure and vibes around community is the heart of WhatsApp, and we're all a part of building what we want. So, Zaro.
I was just gonna add a little to it, saying like, for example, we just launched Discord, and Discord still is like crawling to say the least. Like we have huge potential for the platform, where we can actually start putting all of these articles and all of these news on a very organized manner, so that we can have permalinks and continue the discussions and whatnot. But because we are already so well established in WhatsApp, people are like, I'm not going to leave this conversation here and go there. It's a new platform for me to. So
but
when you add new platforms as well,
give it all time too, because for instance,
exactly,
I have a LinkedIn automation that goes out inviting like 100 people a day into our community, but that until right this second still goes to WhatsApp. And I have on my to-do list, just change the link to Discord. And so then all of a sudden, new member flow is going to start happening over here, and that might draw. So just give everything.
Exactly.
The most important thing I've found when it comes to all this stuff is no herky-jerky anything. If you're going to try something, you got to try it for 6 months or a year, give it a shot. And even 100%. Then, man, maybe just fucking stick with it or something. Like you don't want to be chasing your tail around different tools.
That was very much my point. Like, we're crawling, but we're going to start walking, and then we're going to start running with these other platforms as well. And I think that there's value to all of them, and we will keep on, finding the new ones. It's also a matter of like trying to do it one step at a time.
Yeah.
So and as Kris said, as things come in and appear, we will definitely make them part of the ecosystem.
We got 1 minute. Armin has his hand up. Let's see if we can make it around the room. Closing words. Armin.
I think he was just saying bye.
Bye.
Which is a good segue.
Closing remarks, Alistair. Michelle, you're up.
No, very, very interesting. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, everybody.
Single channel of information would be the absolute love of my life if we could do it.
Me too.
Yeah, I'll stick it right up your butt, Simon.
Simon, I'm so with you on that, but that's okay.
So it's going to be a firehouse then.
And yet here we are on Zoom, Simon.
I know, exactly.
Yet here we are on Zoom, which is a second channel of communication.
Exactly.
Goodbye.
Yami and Zaro, I put my contact info. I know we're connected on LinkedIn, but I've just threw it to you in the chat. So reach out or send me a quick text, and we can make some plans to connect on.
Definitely. All right.
Thank you. Can I say
Have a good
thank
one,
you
all.
to Simon as well? Thank you so much for having me at the Vancouver Art
Did you see
Gallery.
Did you see the follow up that we've got an invite for you to do an event there?
Oh,
Simon, you should rewatch.
yes.
You should rewatch this transcript, the part that you missed, this video. I'll
Yeah.
post it because you may or may not have been talked about in a very generalized way at the
Indeed.
beginning.
Okay. Okay. I'll look for that.
We
I'll
love you,
look for that.
Simon. Thank you
Good
so
stuff.
much.
Thanks, Yemi.
And have a safe trip to London.
I shall. See you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Cheers, guys.